You're tuned in to Streamer Conversations, the podcast spotlighting Twitch streaming pioneers who are reshaping entertainment one broadcast at a time. I'm Nerd Titan, your host and fellow streamer, bringing you authentic conversations with the innovative creators behind your favorite content. Our mission is simple: share the compelling stories behind the streams. We'll explore pivotal moments, personal challenges, and transformative experiences that happen when people share their passions with global audiences. Before we continue, let me tell you about our sponsor, AdvancedGG. Hey, if you're serious about gaming, you know staying sharp is everything. That's where AdvancedGG comes into play. Energy and focus supplements made for gamers who want to keep their edge. With their new sour black cherry flavor, it's incredible. Bold, with just the right amount of tartness. Whether you're grinding rank or pulling an all-night stream, this stuff helps you stay locked in. And the best part? You can grab 10% off your order with code NERDTITANTV10. No minimum, just straight up savings. Hit up AdvancedGG and fuel your game the right way. Start recording. Greetings, this is NerdTitanTV with Streamer Conversations, where your story matters. We're sitting down with Kahuna the Elder today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, actually. It's just been so I stopped streaming the next week. It will be my last stream till August.
Hoping it's a good break.
It's an absolutely good break. I take summer off. I have twin daughters, and so they'll be home for the summer. And so instead of trying to negotiate stream around my kids and being like that, I just take the entire thing off. Other than June 20th, I have a massive celebration stream that will be happening. But other than that, I'm taking it off. I double down on YouTube in the summer. So like I do a lot of evergreen content in the summer. So I'm just like, everything is like, I threw a bunch of plates in the sky and I'm just trying to like catch them all in the right order. And that's kind of like what it is. Like it was kind of that way with the podcast too. So I threw everything up on Threads and Blue Sky and Twitter and everywhere else. And I was like, if no one's interested, I won't do it. We'll let the fates decide if I'm going to do this podcast. And we had, for the first season, we're going to be recording 28 people. And I think I think that's 28 weeks. That's a half a year. And then in August, I'll start recording more. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, that makes sense.
I was blown away. So what initially drew you to streaming? And was there a specific moment or experience in your life that pushed you towards broadcasting yourself to the world?
Yeah, so like a lot of people, the pandemic kind of changed life for everything.
It did.
At the time, I was a rideshare driver, but being an older guy, I have a heart condition and health conditions where it was like, do I really want to be sitting in a car with people who don't want to wear a mask 3 feet from me for an hour at a time?
Oh, yeah.
And the answer from my wife was no. So she helped make me.
I was a bartender during the pandemic, and we bartended. We were still doing weddings, and I was a wedding bartender. So I completely feel that. I stopped bartending. The pandemic kind of like was the final coffin after a lifetime of being a bartender. I turned 45 next week, so I'm an older gentleman as well.
Yeah, I turned 60 back in November. So
wow.
So we're talking the pandemic. We're talking 5 years ago. So I was 55, and my wife was like, it's not worth the risk, for what you make as a rideshare driver. Her income was enough. She at the time was a teacher. She's now an assistant principal, but she was a teacher at the time. So she's like, I really could use you at home to help with the technical issues of trying to teach remotely.
Absolutely.
And because I had stopped driving, I had started spending my time on a couple of websites for creative writing. And what I found was a community of people who were creators, writers, poets, musicians, that all wanted to have a way to collaborate and to co-work, to support each other, just literally looking for a support system. And a bunch of us in about June of 2020 all decided, June of 2019, all decided, hey, let's support each other. So we started streaming, and these weren't huge streams. It was, I would help people. One of the things I do is I voice act. And it was something that I'd always played around with, but never did seriously. Well, what I did for these folks was to say, okay, send me what you've written, and I will voice act it for you live on stream. And you can hear what it sounds like, but at least I can give some life to your characters that is off the page, to see if you're heading in the right direction, if it's hitting the right notes, and etc. And there was a bunch of us that kind of did this. Some people were editing other people's work. So that's how we got into it. And it just kind of stuck. And that went all the way through the pandemic. It kept us going. Meanwhile, I had a green screen splitting a room, and my wife was on the other side teaching. So we had these interesting situations where some streams I would only be in the chat. I couldn't talk because she's live with students on the other side. And so it made for some interesting, silent streams where I could have music playing in the background that, wasn't playing in the room here. But it made for an interesting thing. And what kind of pushed me into continuing the streaming was the fact that I had started developing some followers. I'd gotten, I think at my max, I had like 500 followers, and my streams were getting up there into the double digits and occasionally a triple digit stream. And I was enjoying it. And I was enjoying the community. We had actually developed a nice community of streamers and viewers. And I really enjoyed the community of it. And that's why I kept doing it.
Yeah. What content creators inspired you when you were starting out? Did you emulate anyone's style or format before finding your own voice? For example, when I started in 2020, I'm a huge Adam Savage fan. So like Mythbusters Adam Savage. So like a lot of when he was doing his stuff on YouTube, I always wanted to emulate that kind of method and how he connected with the audience.
Adam's great. I love Adam. I don't think there was any one specific one because of the way I fell into it.
Yeah.
People seem to gravitate towards what I was doing just because of what I was doing. So I don't think I thought it consciously, but somewhere it was saying, look, don't copy anybody else.
Yeah.
Just be you. And hopefully that's enough. I was never looking to be a Mr. Beast.
Oh, yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, I never was looking to be someone who's, making an absolute ridiculous amount of money, streaming. If I paid my bills, I'm happy.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's where I was after the pandemic, because during the pandemic, we had that pandemic high where everyone was home and everyone was like subscribing and everyone was doing this. And then when we all went back to work, it kind of tapered off. So like at that taper off point, I was like, as long as I'm paying my bills and as long as I can keep doing this and without like struggling in other departments, I'm happy. That's where I think finding your why is like one of those things that we don't really talk about as creators, like finding why we do it and not just because, we like playing video games, or like it has to be just more to that. Beyond
I think, I was going to say that what I think is that's huge. If you don't know why you're doing it, you will burn out.
You will. I
will burn out.
I burnt out year before last. Yeah, no, it was last year. I took 9 months off. Like it was like a crash and burn. But I came back. When I came back, I realized it's not about me. It's about what I can leave and what can I show people. And I've always been, for me, being a streamer is more being a storyteller, because I've lived a very adventurous life. I've lived in Seattle, Alaska. I was a sound engineer, a bartender. I've lived a very adventurous life. Now I'm the most boring person you'll ever meet that just tells stories of all these adventures of like I used to work for a venue that was like a 60,000 person venue as a sound engineer. So I've seen every show you can ever imagine. I've probably seen them live from the sound booth.
That's awesome.
So to me, it's a story. Like I'm a storyteller. Like even if it's like talking about like my past or talking about like something that's coming up. Beyond lower viewership, what specific challenges weren't you prepared when you started streaming?
So a couple of things. One is the imposter syndrome kicking in. Oh, I heard the gasp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard the gasp.
I suffer even to this day. People think that like,
Oh, yeah.
They think that I have everything together because I make pretty graphics and I have a podcast and I stream and I'm considered a full-time streamer. But the imposter syndrome is so real. Like, it is so real.
Yeah, you're like, why are these people here? Why do they care?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that great.
No.
That is something that's that little gremlin that runs around in all of our heads, and it's a tough one to fight.
Yeah.
I would say that is a big one. Second, how much energy it takes to stream regularly.
Yeah. I think what most people make their mistake is they see people like Pirate Software or Mr. Beast, for example, these bigger, massive creators that are streaming 7 days a week for 12 hours at a time. And they're not even affiliate yet. These people that aren't affiliate yet, and they're like, oh, I must like stream 8 hours and 12 hours and all this time. But you also have to realize that those people have a support structure behind them and an audience behind them, editors and managers and sound engineers and graphic designers and like, you know what I mean? They have all these things where we don't.
Yeah, they have some people that are going to help them still have a life.
Yeah.
Where, you know, for a while I was streaming 5 days a week. And it was too much. I actually did burn out after the pandemic when viewership dropped, when you're sitting there and you'll do 2 or 3 streams in a row and you're lucky if you hit 5 viewers because people are at work when you're streaming, you know, and it doesn't work with your life to stream when they're available. Plus, a lot of my folks are in the UK.
Yeah. I'm a daytime streamer, so 11:30 Central to 4 o'clock Central.
Yeah, so you're in the same boat, and so you're trying to find this, and it burned me out because it's like, who am I? I'm talking to no one. Who am I talking? Yeah. So I actually, and that actually, post-pandemic, actually I led into a little bit of a depression, and you know, I actually took 18 months off because I couldn't find the personal energy to get it back out there.
Yeah, and
I think one of the things I realized was that I had set in my head, and because that's the type of personality I have, that I owed my viewers my stream. I owed my viewers my time. And no, I owe my viewers me being real. I owe my viewers the community that I, you know, hope to create. But I have to preserve my energy, my spoons. I have to have enough spoons to do it. And so I realized, yes, I can set a tentative schedule of when I'm going to stream, but that it's totally okay to say, yeah, not today.
Yeah, and I think that like wherever, like, so I know what success looks like for me. I may not know the steps that are going to be to take to get to that goal. But for me, streaming's never been my end of my goal. It's always been YouTube. So like this past year, I've done so much to grow YouTube versus streaming, and streaming for me has been the party at the end of the week, because like Thursdays is podcast, Fridays is podcast, Saturday and Sundays are editing and recording and research and stuff like that. So for me, Twitch is the party. It's the weekend, not necessarily the weekend, but like it's that kind of mentality. You work in that 9 to 5, you need that Saturday and Sunday that when you get it off, like, and it's the party for me.
Yeah, I think for me, the other challenge that has come since I've come back to streaming is the side that you're really focusing on, which is, you know, the YouTube and the extra content. I will admit I am not great at it. I just, you know, I don't think through it enough. I don't plan it enough because I try to do things very, you know, very loose. And so the only thing that shows up on YouTube right now is if I edit down some of the streams where I do my voice acting, because if someone sends me something, I'm more than happy to edit it down to just their, you know, edit the stream down to just their portion where I read their stuff and put that up so they can share it with other people. But I have to get myself into the frame of mind of doing the video editing and putting it together and uploading it and the whole 9 yards. And that's someplace that currently is a challenge for me, is that struggle of getting that done.
Yeah, but you have to find, like, for me, I always tell people that it's finding where your happiness is. If you're happy just streaming on Twitch and you don't want to do YouTube or you don't want to do TikToks or whatever it is, the social media aspect, you don't have to. Just know that, like, you're going to have to do something else. Like, and that something else may not even be invented yet, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
because I've been doing this long enough to know that, like, the TikTok boom is done. You know what I mean? Like, we used to always say, to grow on Twitch, you had to grow on TikTok. I think now it's, you have to grow on a platform. I don't think that it's necessarily, they name it, you know what I mean? Because I've gotten so much growth from Threads. Like, platform I never thought was going to do anything other than be a place for me to share my random thoughts at 4 a.m. in the morning when I wake up. So, like, I think that finding whatever that is for a creator, and it could be different for everyone. I know people, like one of my mods blew up on Blue Sky. I was like, I can't see it because I post on there too, and I just don't get anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I part of that is the algorithms are always changing, and, tactics are always changing. And it's one of those things where I struggle sometimes to keep up with what it takes to move those forward because of that always changing. And, TikTok, huge for yes, you're right. You have to be on TikTok. Well, no, you don't. I think you're right. You have to grow on a platform, at least one platform, to a point where now you can expand to other platforms, but you have to find some place where that comfort zone is for you. So I totally agree with you.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hope all is good.
Yeah, all is good. So looking back at your first stream versus probably your most recent stream, what are the most visible changes? Be it other than like the equipment that might have upgraded, what would be some of the most visible changes?
I've tried to do less. I'm really starting to lean into the less is more. I used to have all the different things, on the screen and the interactions and all that stuff. And, showing how many viewers I've got on time, how many subs I've got, all that stuff. How much can I shove onto the screen at one time? Let me create the most fantastic, incredible layout I can have as an overlay. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, so it's going to be me. And if there's something I have to show somebody, there'll be that. I don't show the chat on the screen anymore. I figure if you're in chat, you can see the chat. I don't need to show it on screen because why? And
for me, 67% of my viewers are mobile, and I can guarantee you're not reading the chat on a mobile device.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't even read it. You can't read it because it's just too dang small.
Yeah.
So I've cut that way back. There is one thing that I have left in, and it got real big when I was in my first bout of streaming, and I'm starting to build it back up now that I'm building up my following again. And that is for regular viewers, like my mods as well. I would have them submit a 5-second video clip. That would be their quote unquote walk on. So when they come into the stream, this little video clip pops up in a corner to welcome them in. So that's always been kind of fun. And in fact, before I had taken the break, we had a point where that 5-second clip, if everybody came in at the same time, especially like a raid, we could go 3 or 4 minutes with just these videos going. And I would just sit there and laugh because it was like, why am I bothering saying anything at this point? We're just going to keep going with these clips. And it was something that the community loved. Mm-hmm. So that is coming back. But other than that, really, I've tried to make it as simple as possible.
I'm the same way. I used to have all these elaborates. Now I'm a minimalistic design person. So like everything's as minimalist. The only thing I have is Twitch announcements that are controlled by Mix It Up. but that's about it. There's really nothing on my screen other than I've embraced the lower thirds, like what you would see on like a TV show.
Yep.
I do that, but it fades in and out based on whatever timer or command is being said in chat.
Yeah, the feedback I got from some folks was that if it was something that was flashy or moving too much or whatever, then it was distracting and then sometimes triggering to them. Not necessarily epileptic seizures or anything like that, but it was something that really kind of annoyed them. And so I took that to heart and said, do I really need that? No. Okay, let's make it go away. And so really it's a matter of how much can I take out of it and still have something that looks, appealing to the eye, but is not distracting in any way from anything else that's going on.
Absolutely. We all have those streamer nightmare stories, like technology just not working. One of my biggest mottos is where you're not a pro streamer until everything goes wrong when you're live. What was your most catastrophic technical failure that happened live?
Oh gosh. Let's see. I had one where I went 20 minutes with the mic muted and nobody told me. That was fun.
I have a muted emote now because I've done it so much that I made just a follower emote that's just a mic, like an icon on your like it's just a microphone with an X through it. So like,
yeah. Hey, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
We've had that. We've had situations where I would bring somebody else in. I was using ninja.video to bring in other video streams so people could join into the stream, and going through the nightmare of trying to fix their end of the technology, then fix my end of the technology, realizing my end worked fine. It was still their end, and going through 25 minutes live on stream trying to tech support someone who doesn't quite get how this thing works yet, how the extra level works. So that's always entertaining, is trying to go through that. It's certainly not much fun for anyone who's in on the stream. And then, just the times when early on, literally 5-6 years ago, when Twitch would just drop you.
I still have those.
Midstream.
I have those bitrate drops so frequently, but I believe it's my Texas power grid because you sneeze next to it and it fails.
I upgraded the home internet. I'm at 500 megabits, so it's perfect. I'm perfectly fine for streaming. I've got the newer computer. I've got everything. The one thing I spent on early was actually my audio.
Yeah, I'm a former audio engineer, so everything I have was kind of thrown together at one point, and now it's kind of like I have a Rode Pod mic, and I'm probably going to upgrade this next year to a Rode to a Podcaster or an NT1. But for me, like if it works, it works, and like the only time I told myself that I would buy like a Shure SM7B is when I make partner.
Yeah,
like and that's so far off.
I went the step in between, which was I used to work for a music retailer. I used to do the pro audio and lighting. I was in their departments, and so and I did live theater and sound, lighting, the whole nine yards. So I was really familiar with stuff, and so I took a mid step. I went to a Sterling microphone with a nice big diaphragm on it and a Focusrite interface. So it's a real XLR mic. It's got the interface. It's got the powered mic. It's got the nice condenser on it. So I said that I know I can do, and I don't have to break the bank. I think between the two of them, I spent maybe $250, $300.
Yeah, I literally have a Focusrite.
A lot to start.
I literally have a Focusrite sitting next to me because I was going to give it away, but it's the older one. It's one of the early versions because I used it from when I was a DJ.
Yeah, I've got a 2i2. It's
mine's a 2i2, like, but it's not the Type C.
I think mine's third. Mine's a third generation. So.
Mine has the old Class B USB on the back, the old house looking one.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're probably 2 generations before.
Yeah, but it still works. Because I have a dual PC setup, so like for me to do like in-game voice, like when you play like Phasmophobia or like Devour, or a game that has like in-game audio or in-game mic, I have another microphone that goes into it. I was using that with just a little lapel mic wired next to my pod mic on the arm.
Oh,
but now I use a Rode Wireless 2s because they're wireless. I can just have it clipped onto my collar, and it's just for in-game mic. It's really nothing ever fancy, but like I think that like you could have like a 720 camera, but if you got great audio, it kind of makes up for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Audio. And I've gotten that feedback from others. In fact, one of my mods says his biggest pet peeve is the audio. He says, okay video is okay video, but if your audio sucks, you're going to have a problem. His big thing is popping on the mic, or the gain is wrong or whatever. He says he'll turn it off. And I've seen that with a lot of folks. It's just, if there's something that they're hearing, the folks with misophonia have that issue. If there's something that they're hearing that annoys them or bothers them, they'll turn that off faster than they will if it's just the video is wonky. Yeah. And let's face it, most of the time when you're streaming, audio will go through. Even if the video stutters, the audio will go through.
Absolutely.
So it's important.
Yeah, like I think that if you sound like you're ordering fast food at McDonald's, like, it doesn't matter how good your gameplay is, that you're the best gamer, or you have a 4K or 1440 resolution. If I can't hear you, I'm out, guys.
It's like, does that complete your order?
Yeah.
That's not what you want to hear.
No. So we were just talking about like different skills that we brought on that we might have had before. You were talking about you did pro audio. Yep. I did pro audio at Guitar Center, so I've.
You're brethren then.
Yeah, I'm brethren. So I did that.
You're brethren because that's where I was. I was a Guitar Center guy.
I was in the pro audio department, but they would always hit me up for DJ. It was during the DJ boom. During when everyone was becoming a DJ, it was always like, because I was a DJ and I was a sound engineer, it was just that Guitar Center got me insurance.
Yeah.
So what skills did you bring in from beforehand? Like I've audio engineer and a graphic designer, so I always have these extra skills. Do you think as you've learned more skills, do you think your confidence has gotten more, or do you think that it's stayed about the same due to the fact there's always something we're learning?
Skill wise, I think I don't know that I've grown tremendously because I brought a lot, especially the audio stuff, the video stuff. I had done video stuff before. So that aspect of it, the technological aspect of it, still pretty comfortable with it. I have no problem helping other folks with it. It's really not a challenge for me. I think where I've learned a lot is in the management of the work, in terms of how to schedule a stream, how to fill a stream. What should you do at the beginning of the stream? What should you do at the end of the stream? How do you manage the chat? How do you manage the trolls? That's, unfortunate, something that you have to learn. And that is something that I really did not have a lot of experience with. I'd had experience with trolls before. I mean, I've been online since the mid-'80s.
BBC's
in one form
for me.
Or another.
BBC's for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I had, a CompuServe account. So, a CompuServe account where my account was just 5 digits, 4 digits. I mean, I've been around a while, and I've had the trolls. I went through the troll wars of the 80s, the flame wars. Yeah. So trolls don't bother me, but learning how to do that in the context of a stream and how to do it in a way that doesn't alienate other folks, because could I flame back? Sure. Is that what the folks who watch my stream watch for? No. My Threads persona is very different. It's still Kahuna the Elder, but my persona on Threads is very different than my streaming persona. On Threads, I'll talk politics all day long. I won't do it on stream because that's not what my people are there for.
That's my piece. That's my we've kind of dubbed it our head in the sand time. Like we're very aware of what's going on in the world, and My community is very aware. We talk about it in Discord and off stream and stuff like that. But it's for stream, it's our time to have our pizza party on Friday. Is how what we've kind of called it. Like just to kind of forget about it, play some games, get lost, talk about movies and comic books and all sorts of stuff. Because I'm a nerd. My name is Nerd Titan. I embrace all nerdiness there is.
Nerds rule the world, man.
They do. They really do. But yeah, what's helped me is when I get trolls, I just wish them to. I always say, I wish you have the day that you deserve, and they get banned. Like, I just kind of like.
Yeah, the ones I hit I hit a group last week apparently because I started simul streaming, I guess, on YouTube.
Yeah,
and somebody had talked about me in a Discord channel, so they sent this whole group over to try to disrupt my stream on YouTube, and it was just like, I just kind of looked at them and went, "That's the best you got? Okay, ban."
I use SiriBot. Like
really?
Most of the time, I use SiriBot because it bans all bot accounts. Like,
yeah, these look like they were natural accounts.
Yeah,
but it was just like, and I mean, they're doing the stupid thing like you typing 2 letters at a time of words that would normally be banned.
Oh yeah. My mods are
like,
great.
Really?
I never see block terms. I never see. I don't see when people get banned. I don't see any of that stuff as a streamer. My mods do it, and like I always tell my people, I trust my mods so much, and I will back their decision anytime because they're there to protect me. And I'm privileged that I have mods that are active because all my mods are streamers too. So like having active mods that are streamers is rare. Like,
yeah, because they know what you're going through. They know what they know what that needs to be done.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was one of my rules when I got mods. I was like, you have to be a streamer because I need you to understand what it's like to be on this side of the camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
So every streamer approaches community building differently. What was your underlying philosophy on cultivating your community, and how has this approach evolved over the time that you've been streaming?
Initially, it was I want to be part of a community that's helping others. That piece has never changed. I always want to be an aid to others, whether it's I'm entertaining you, and so I'm taking a load off your mind for however long you're hanging around, or you're working on a creative project and you're stuck on some ideas. Maybe I can throw some ideas at you, or it's taking a creative project you've worked on and trying to bring it to a little bit more life for you through voice acting. So now you can hear what your work sounds like and see if it's going the direction you think it is, or if in my reading I read something into it that you either didn't see or weren't expecting. Because sometimes, someone who's writing something doesn't understand how the reader may necessarily perceive something. And since I'm reading them cold, I don't pre-read them. I read them, they send it to me, I read it. That's it. So I'm reading it cold. So I'm like someone who's reading it right out of a book, which is the first time I'm reading it. So if I stumble over something, that's a clue to them. Oh, maybe we need to work on that.
Yeah.
And I'll even give them that feedback. As time has gone on, then I've become very, very fond of the community that I've built. And that really still is my focus. I want to help them, but I want, in all cases, for my community to feel comfortable, safe, protected, that they feel this, when they come to my stream, they are welcome. I really try to stick to I'm talking to you. I look straight into the camera and try to talk to you as an individual each time. Even if there's nobody there, or even if there's dozens of people there, I still try to talk to the camera as if it's the one person sitting in front of me, because I have found that is what makes the connection between me and the community is they feel a connection. I feel that connection. And that's really something that I've really worked on to make sure that they feel part of a community, even if it's just the small Kahuna the Elder community.
Absolutely. Like, I think that's where a lot of new people struggle, is understanding their why they're doing a thing, and also how to create that connection. And I think for me, I struggled when I first started was talking when nobody was looking. concept, but for me, it was somebody that was part of like my community. They were a streamer. And they were like, just imagine you're recording a YouTube video. You wouldn't have chat and engagement. You would have to create the engagement. And that logic changed for me because now I'm just like,
that's a great way to think of it. And to be honest, I never thought of it that way. I'm just, I went to broadcasting school, so I was used to talking with nobody in front of me.
Yeah. I think I think radio does a really good aspect of that too, because you're not getting audience engagement. You're just creating something to be engaging. Oh,
exactly. Your voice is what has to create the engagement. There's nothing else. There's nothing else there. You're talking to the wall. And one of the things they did for us in broadcasting school was, if that's really a problem for you, stick a mirror in front of you.
Yeah, I have a picture next to my camera.
Talk to the mirror.
I have a picture. It's just a little cutout of my face next to my camera from when I first started streaming. But it gives me something to have eye line. It gives me an eye line.
Yep.
So like, because a lot of times when I was an audio engineer, we're usually the eye line for whoever's playing. They'll tell us to tell them to look at the booth. And so it helped me have being able to look at the camera and have that direct eye line with the camera as well. But also I do something a little different too. So my camera is angled. So when I'm looking at my third monitor, which has my chat on it, it has me I'm looking at chat. So if I'm reading something, so it's a weird psychological thing. So like if you saw it on screen, you would see me look to the right, which is me facing the chat where it is on Twitch. Mm-hmm. And it has me looking at chat and I'm reading something off chat. And then I look back and it has me facing the game that I'm playing, or if I'm doing like an art stream or whatever. I do some weird psychology of design things.
Yeah, I've got my camera's pretty much straight on from just slightly above eye line. And then usually I'm running OBS on the left screen. If I'm in a game, it's in the center screen. And then I usually have a second chat window open on the right hand side. So I'm not having to turn my head too much to catch chat.
Yeah, for me, I have 3 chats open, so I can just look with eyes. Like if I need to see something or see someone redeem something, I can just look up at the redeem window on the dashboard or over at Mix It Up Bot or whatever. I think having a good system in place is always a good, because we talk about foundations and we talk about having like a support structure, but also I think creating our own like little environmental systems helps so much.
And the thing is that I have yet to be happy with how my desk area and how my workstation area here is set up. I have yet to be happy with it. So it's about every 4, 5, 6 months. Now I'm going to tear it all down and put it all back together again and see if I can find something else that works.
I'm the same way. Every time I decide to upgrade something internally on the computer, like I just upgraded the RAM in my hard drive. I always kind of redo my 2 Stream Decks and like get them, and I redid them all my like where things were on my desk. So I completely feel that. So creating content can easily consume our entire life. Like for myself, I dedicate 2 days to creating content. What specific boundaries have you established between your streaming persona and your personal identity?
Other than the fact that I use a pseudonym as a streamer.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't have a whole lot of boundaries. I will talk about just about anything, but if we're talking work-life balance, then what I do is I have set times. For example, my wife still works. I'm essentially retired and doing streaming, and I cook. I cook dinner for my wife. So I know 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I have to be off, period. I used to go, if you send me some bits, I'll extend it even further. No. 4 o'clock, I'm off because I got to cook dinner. And, people find that funny as, you got to cook dinner now. Yep.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like I'll raid and I'm literally running out the door to get my kids off the bus. Yeah. So like, I'm like, I'll be back. I'm like, whoever I raided, because I only raid people I know. I'm like, I'll be right back. Give me 10 minutes and I'll run the 2 blocks, get the kids off the bus, come back, get them situated, like get all the excitement down. Like, and then like, boom, and I come back and I do my like talk with the streamer and hang out for a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I usually do it the other way around, which is I get off at 4:00, so that gives me I don't have to start cooking till about 4:45.
Yeah.
So it gives me a few minutes to go on to the other streamer, hang out in their stream for a little bit, and do that stuff.
Yeah.
I also do not stream on weekends.
Oh, I don't either.
I do not stream on weekends. The weekends is my time with my family. That's me and my wife. That's our time. Nobody gets to intrude on that. Although the funny thing is, we have in the past done what we call the Kahuna Happy Hour, which is usually, if it happens after my Friday stream, immediately after, where my wife comes in and sits in. And it's actually one of the most popular things on my channel because they love my wife. They love the banter between us because she's always picking on me and I'm just sitting there shaking my head. And because she works in school, she's got stories. Oh my God, has she got stories? And so she's telling the story and people are just like, oh my God, I can't believe that. So we have fun with that and we invite people to, bring their favorite beverage, adult or otherwise. She brings in her wine, every once in a while. She's like, I'll be right back. And everybody's like, oh, she's got to get more wine. So we have that. So there is a little overlap in there because she actually enjoys doing it when she's not too tired. And the audience enjoys it. And we just have a blast with it.
Yeah, my partner's the same way. I do a monthly, I'll do it over the summer. I'll do a monthly stream with my partner because she has Fridays off. So I'll do a nighttime stream from like 6 p.m. to like 8 or 9 o'clock at night on Fridays. Yeah. And it's me and her playing whatever. We called it the nerd date night because I let her pick the game. I'm like, whatever the game is, I'll play it with you. It's our time to come because I wake up at 5 a.m. with my kids. She works nights. She doesn't usually get off work until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So like, we don't really get to see each other during the week because like I'm in bed because my alarm goes off at 4:45. By the time she gets home, like I make her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's all ready. We meal like, so we call it ships passing in the dark. Like there's times where like, I'll get up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water. And I'm like, hey, sweetie, how are you doing? Like, I'm going back to bed because 4 a.m. is quick. Like,
that was another reason why I limited the time that I stream is because my wife gets up at 5:30 in the morning. She leaves the house by 6. She doesn't get home till usually 4:30, sometimes 5 o'clock. And so the time we have is usually limited to from the time she gets home until the time she's ready to fall asleep, which is 8:30 or 9 o'clock. There's very limited time we have together, and so I don't want anything to intrude on that. Now, will I stay up after she's fallen asleep? Sure, I'll actually, go into the bedroom with her and wait till she's snoring and then come back out and get back on my computer again.
Yeah.
But I don't get into the streaming there because I don't want anybody to expect that that's when I'm going to be streaming.
Yeah.
That's just my rule.
I used to hate being a daytime streamer, and then I've fallen in love with it. I have networked with so many UK streamers, South African streamers. And so like when I come back to streaming in August, it'll be daytime streaming again. I absolutely fell in love with it. It gives me nighttime with my kids. And so we talked about mental health and burnout. Being discouraged is very common in this field. Was there a specific point where you seriously continued just walking away from streaming altogether? What specific thoughts or support systems help you push through it?
So actually, it wasn't just a thought. I did walk away for 18 months. And it was more a mental health thing. I realized I was pushing myself. I wasn't having fun doing it. It was, I've got to stick to my schedule. Oh, I've got to stream. I'm tired, but no, I got to get up. And when I started doing things like falling asleep during my stream, when I realized I was getting crankier on stream. In fact, one of my kids actually will pop into the stream occasionally. And she actually said, hey, you're not as fun as you used to be. You're a little cranky. And that was kind of like a hammer in the forehead. It's like, oh, gosh, I'm sorry. And I realized then that I had just pushed myself too hard, too fast, trying to do too many things at one time, trying to be everything to everyone. I had to just quit. And it took me, and again, this was right at the end of the pandemic. So I wasn't getting the viewership. I wasn't getting the the streams that had gotten used to, and nothing seemed to be progressing. And I thought, you know what, I just don't have the energy for this right now. And it took me about 18 months to get to the point where, I kind of miss streaming. I kind of miss having the fun.
Yeah.
But how do I do it now without making it, without letting it go to where it went? And so I put some very strict limits on myself. Yes, you can put a stream schedule up on Twitch, but if you have to cancel, you cancel. And you know what? Don't apologize for having to take the time off. I actually canceled my stream yesterday because I had surgery a few weeks ago on my shoulder, and I've been going through physical therapy. And every once in a while, the physical therapy just takes it out of me for a solid 48 hours. Yesterday, it was like, I don't have the energy to do this. So I just posted up on my Discord, where most everybody, who follows me sees my messages, and I say, hey, everyone, yeah, PT kind of took it out of me. I'll see you guys Friday.
Yeah, and
I don't apologize for it anymore.
I don't either. I don't even say I'm going to make this up to you, because someone explained to me a long time ago is you can't make up time. Like,
right.
You can't, like, it's already gone. Like, so you can't get it back. It's like when I used to be a DJ, I used to DJ until 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd wake up at 8 a.m. and then the next day I would have to sleep for 12 hours to make up. My brain was like, oh, I was making up on that sleep. And like, there's no making it up. I went to sleep.
No.
So I
know you're recharging, but you didn't get anything extra out of it.
No, yeah, absolutely. So I usually stream 3 days a week, but these last few weeks I go through cancer chemotherapy. So I've been taking Mondays off because I get my chemo on Fridays. So I've been taking Mondays off just to have those extra days. But I'm happy about it, though. It's not like, oh, I have to cancel. I just said every week when I do my schedule, it's just Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because that's what but like, my community loves it. I have more people coming in on a 2-day stream than I was on a 3-day stream. And so I was like, the community agrees. I need the time off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and that's the thing, is you can't feel bad about it. You can't feel sorry about it. And you just have to do what is within your boundaries. And I think that's the thing you have to come up with, is what are your boundaries for this? At what point is it too much for you? Don't go there. Yeah. Once it stops being fun, why bother with it? Yes, it can be a business, but again, it's a business where the reason people watch you most of the time is because it's fun. And if you aren't having fun, it comes across.
It does. And there was a saying that I learned, this is going to age me. We used to say, I used to work for Earthlink.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember Earthlink.
Yeah, I used to work for them. And we used to always say, I was a trainer, we also say that the customer can hear you smiling.
Yep.
And so, like, I've kind of adapted that logic. If I'm playing a game I don't enjoy, the audience can see it. It comes across that I'm not having fun, or I'm burnt out on the game, or whatever that reason is, and they can see it. And if you're not having fun or enjoying yourself in some aspect, it's going to push through, and you're not going to be entertaining. You're not going to, and all these other things, all these other factors.
That same thing was the reason that in broadcasting school they told us put a mirror up, because if you can't see yourself smiling, they can hear that you're not smiling. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it goes to the next level when you start streaming, because it's not just that they can hear it, they can see it.
Yeah, they can see it. And I don't know how Warzone players do it. These Call of Duty players that get so frustrated at the game, and how they're they can keep on playing. I have friends that play those games, and I'm like, I love you as a collaborator. I'm like, you're a friend, but I don't like the game you're playing.
Well, and on top of it, it's like, it's a game.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game.
Yeah. I play a lot of MMORPGs, so like Star Wars: The Old Republic, World of Warcraft, Once Human, and stuff like that. So I get being frustrated with the game because they update every week and they change things every week. So I get that frustration, but at the end of the day, it is just a game. And if there are other games, I have a 300 game backlog. I have Game Pass. I have epic free games. I have about 500 games that I've never touched between Steam and Epic. There's other games I can be playing if I get frustrated enough.
Yeah.
So if you could travel back in time to the day before your first stream, what specific advice would you give yourself? What behaviors or habits did you fall into that you wish you would have avoided from the start?
Oh, wow. First one would be go easy. Don't be everything to everyone. You know, that is, I think, a challenge I think many streamers fall into. And I think I'm still kind of into it in that I have one stream where I game, one stream where it's a co-working stream where you're just, you know, come hang out. It's like a just chatting stream. And then I do my voice acting. So I'm doing 3 different things, but I'm very clear in my mind as to what I'm doing in each one. And so I've been able to separate them, but don't try to be everything to everyone. It's not going to work. You're going to burn yourself out.
Absolutely.
You have to be you. Another thing would probably be don't worry about when you're streaming. When I first started streaming, because there was a bunch of us that were all kind of friends and starting to stream, we were very conscious about, okay, so here's the schedule. You're going to stream here, and then you're going to stream here. There's this gap in between. Who wants to take that? And it was very community oriented, but it also was limiting in the fact that, you know, you didn't want to step on somebody else, and you still don't. But I started realizing that I was allowing myself to do streams that weren't at a time that worked for me, where my viewers may not be available at that time, or they had just finished a stream that was 3 hours long. You know, or do they want to sit in on another 2-hour stream or 3-hour stream? That's another one. The length of your streams. I'm now down to 2 hours. I was doing 4-hour streams before and killing myself.
Yeah, I had 2 days for 4 hours, which is 8 hours a week, which isn't bad.
I'm doing like 6 hours a week.
Yeah.
And the thing is the scheduling thing was a big one for me, because it was like, you know what? You need to stream when it works for you to stream, because if you're streaming in a time that doesn't work for you, it's going to come across because you're going to be watching the clock, or, you know, you're worried about what you need to get done, or no, you need to be able to set aside a time. That's your stream. And you know what? If people want to find you, they'll find you. If people want to follow your stream, they'll follow you, and they'll be there when they can. And that's all you can ask for. You know, if they want to watch you on VOD, great. You know, you got to do it when you can do it. Yes, there are optimum times to do it. If they don't work for you, then it doesn't matter.
I think also, like, one thing that people have to also realize is some people can't catch you when you're streaming. They may support you on Threads or on TikTok or Blue Sky or wherever. They may be more into that content versus being able to sit down with you for 3 hours or however long. You know what I mean? So, like, content is different for everybody, or content enjoyment is different for everybody, especially when you start making friends with streamers that they stream, and then their downtime is their self-care time. So you don't want to take away from that. And so, like, I think that just, like, for me, it was creating content that I wanted to see in the world. And if it resonates with one person, I'm successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm similar in that mindset. Mine is, I'm trying to build a community. I want to be helpful to others. Mm-hmm. If I have helped one person in a stream, it was worth doing a stream, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to try to help others. Again, whether it's entertainment or whether it's, you know, suggestions or whatever it is, if I've helped you, that was all worth it. I get people who pop in for literally, they'll pop in at like 5 minutes left in the stream. You know what? You're awesome for being here just for those 5 minutes. You're awesome for being here. And then they'll ask a question right there at the end, and I'm able to help them. That 5 minutes was worth it to them. And that 5 minutes was worth it to me.
Absolutely. I think I'm very similar as well, because to me, it doesn't matter. It could be, you can come in just at the beginning where I'm just doing my just chatting, because I have a formula I do. So I do a little bit of just chatting, get a little bit of gameplay, and I end with just chatting. So if you just want to come in for the just chatting, Great. Thank you for being here. You're here for whatever game we're playing. Thank you again for being here. You come in 5 minutes before leaving. Again, thank you for thinking about me in that moment.
Yeah, it's funny. I even thank trolls.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you just raised my viewership. Thanks.
Yep. Yep.
Now you're banned.
Yep.
But hey, you helped me for a few minutes. Thanks. It always throws them off.
Yeah, it does. So what fundamental aspect of being a Twitch streamer that most viewers and aspiring creators completely misunderstand? And how does this misunderstanding affect your day-to-day experience?
They think it's easy.
Oh my God. Yeah, I really hate that when people go, "Oh, you're just playing a game," or "Oh, you're just
talking on a camera."
Yeah, I'm just talking on a camera. There is so much that goes into me just like doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I think that's the one that new streamers don't realize. And in fact, I think that's why a lot of people who start to stream drop out fairly quickly, because, there's a lot there. I have to keep a lot going here. There's a lot of plates I got to keep in the air.
Yeah.
I've got 3 screens and I wish I had 6 because
I have 4 and I wish I had 5. To me, it's like getting a tattoo. I get one more screen, I'm probably going to want another one. Like I have 4. Yeah. Like
it's the old Guitar Center saying, how many guitars do you need? And the answer is one more.
One more. I said that I was pro audio, so it was always how many keyboards do you need? One more.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, it's always one more. The answer is always one more. So the fact that, one, I think a lot of early streamers don't get that. They don't realize there's a lot of technological stuff you got to be on top of. It's just a whole lot. And then if you really want to take off, if you want to be strong in a platform, there's a lot of work behind that.
Yeah.
You really have to work to become popular on a platform. I haven't achieved that yet.
Oh, and I have seen little glimpses of it, like little spikes here and there. And I always tell myself, what did I do off stream that's doing this spike? And I'll go, oh, I had a video pop off, or I had a tutorial pop off, or I went into a new streamer, or the podcast has been the biggest one. Like it's been, I didn't realize how much of, because it's evergreen content, like how much exposure I would get from something that is not for me. It is so much work. And I always tell people that when you look at like a TV show on TV, a network show, like even if it's like the Colbert Report, you realize he's got graphic designers, he's got researchers, he's got script writers, he's got all of these people, mic, audio engineers.
He's got a couple hundred people working to make that show happen.
But you just see one guy behind a desk.
Right.
When it comes to us, there is just one guy behind a desk for me.
Behind the desk.
There's so much chaos. Like I live by a Google Calendar and Google Keep. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all you can do. And I think that's, my wife was a great example of, she saw me start streaming and I was like, okay, I've got to go on, I've got to stream on. So I've got to close the door because, I'm going on stream. And she didn't quite get what it was until she started having to teach online during the pandemic. And then it was like, I became the tech support guy. And she's like, you do this all the time. I'm like, yeah. She goes, how do you do this? How do you keep that energy up? How do you keep going? I said, that's the trick, is that you have to know all this stuff. You have to do all this stuff. And it gave her a real sense of appreciation for what it takes to be on camera, to be live nonstop.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing
changed dramatically.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that helps me is having a routine, of having a sound check routine, like looking at my audio settings before I even hit that start streaming button. I look at my sound settings and I look at my stuff. I look at my game. Everything gets a check. And I think that's where I've eliminated a lot of the on stream tech issues. Is that
I think I have to be better about checklisting. Is probably my thing. Is that my prep for stream usually starts about half hour to 45 minutes before my stream. And I'm checking, I make sure that my starting soon screen has gone up and that the timing is right on it. And, I check my audio and everything, but I don't have a checklist, which I really should. I really should have something where I can click off. Did you check this? Yes. Did you check this? Yes. Mm-hmm. My problem is that I do checklists all the time. And then I just go, oh yeah, I did all of them without actually checking them.
Yeah.
So a checklist becomes useless for me.
For me, it's did Windows update? If Windows updated, check all my audio because I have the whole Elgato environment. And so anytime that Windows updates, it changes all my audio sources to default, which they can't be with Elgato. They're all like separate audio tracks. And so like, when there was an Windows update, okay, I'm going to spend 5 minutes and just go through all my audio. Check it, cool. Check my gaming PC for updates. We're done.
I have not had that problem. I think one of the things I need to invest in, I still do not have a Stream Deck. I actually have a USB controller that I use in a similar fashion. My problem is I can never remember which button does what.
Yeah, I have two XLs, like the 32 key. I have two of them.
Wow.
One controls the Stream PC. And one is basically like Photoshop routines and Adobe Audition stuff. So when I'm working on content, I can just hit a button to save. Or if I need to open a logo file, I have a button that just opens my logo file for me. Like if I'm working on my schedule, because I do my schedule every week, I hit a button and it automatically opens that file for me. A lot of it is just pure sheer laziness. like
I would love to be able to make enough on Twitch to afford the Stream Deck. At the moment, I can't justify it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Pandemic money.
It's one of those things.
My entire setup was pandemic money. When I was doing really good and I was making money, I was bartending still, and so I was like, I'm a computer upgrader that I don't do baby upgrades. I don't do like, I'll do RAM this week, hard drive this week. I save up all the money and do one massive upgrade. Like I just upgraded to 64 gigs of RAM in my computer. And I upgraded to a Western Digital Black 2 terabyte hard drive. But that was, my upgrade was 5 years ago. So like,
see, mine is about every 3 to 5 years. And I'll just buy a new machine.
Yeah.
And configure it as I want. So I recently, probably about 6 months ago, bought a new machine, and same thing. I've got a 2 terabyte Western Digital Black, and it's got a 4060 in it for the video, because the games were getting harder and harder to play on my older machine.
Yeah,
that one was like a 2060 or something like that. So it was a significant upgrade in the video card. But I'm kind of the same way. It's kind of like if I'm gonna upgrade, the piecemeal upgrades never work, because then you're constantly upgrading.
Yeah, you are.
You have to take a big leap, and then you're good for a little while.
Yeah,
and then you'll have to take a big leap again.
I have a brand new computer sitting over there, but it can't fit under my current desk because my current desk is too short. It's an NZXT with a 50 series. I ordered the wrong case. When I was looking at the measurements on NZXT, because it's a pre-built, I measured under my desk, and it's off by 3/4 of an inch. So it will not go under my desk. So I have a brand new 50 series graphics card with 128 gigs of RAM, with like, it's a gaming PC that I'll probably never have to upgrade for a very long time. But I'm building a stream room, a custom stream room with greens. Well, I painted the walls green, so because I use a green screen. So instead of having my collapsible green screen, the walls behind me are green. So like,
that's awesome.
So like,
as long as they're lit, you're good.
As long as they're lit, and that's exactly how it is. And like, I have ceiling mounted lights, so I can adjust them and turn them however I need them, but they're not on my desk. So I gain another 12 inches of desk space.
Yeah, I have my camera's mounted underneath a shelf right in front of me, and my lights are actually mounted on the top of the shelf. So everything is off the desk there. Unfortunately, I still have way too much on my desk. So
yeah. So like, I'm building that room, and so when I build it over the summer, when I come back, I'll have the new computer set up. So for listeners who connect with your story today, where can they find you, best support your content? And are there specific stream segments or YouTube content that or community events that you especially want your viewers to know? Keep in mind that this episode will not drop until the end of June.
Okay. When it comes to, I don't have any special streams coming up, just, my regular streams, but it all depends on what they want to watch. My gaming streams are on Mondays and all my stream times are at 2 p.m. Pacific. So do the math. But my gaming streams are on Mondays. I change games. This week it was, what was it this week? Did I play? I think I played Satisfactory this week. I love Satisfactory.
I'm an early adopter for Satisfactory. I've been playing it because I played it through Epic. I've been playing it since it was in beta, and I absolutely love it. I haven't played in about a year. I know the experimental looks really nice.
I've been having a lot of fun in experimental. I started, I think, on update 6.
Yeah.
So I haven't been on as long, but yeah, the stuff that they put into the experimental is just amazingly good. So that's Mondays is gaming. Wednesdays is kind of like a co-work stream. If it's a thing where if you just want to do writing sprints, well, I'll put up a 15-minute sprint clock and we work to it. But whatever you want, like Pomodoro sprints, or you need help, or you're stuck on an idea. Hit me up. I'm a vast fount of useless knowledge, so I can probably come up with something for you. So when it's just it's more like a just chatting stream. And then Fridays is my voice acting, and I read stuff that creators have sent me, and I voice act it. Again, I do it cold, so I'm reading it at the same time as I'm seeing it. I don't pre-read it. Also, if I don't have enough material, then I do read public domain stuff. Right now, we're almost at the end of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, so that's taken a few weeks to get through. But I've done Dracula before. In fact, if you go onto my YouTube channel, you will find the entire Dracula series. And they can find me on Twitch at Kahuna the Elder. YouTube, it's at Kahuna the Elder, and on Threads, it's Kahuna the Elder. I was lucky. Didn't have to change anything anywhere, so you can find me on all of them.
Perfect. I'll make sure to have all those links in the description for anybody that's listening right now, with times and links and all that stuff. So again, I would like to thank you for your time today, and I much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Those Streamer Conversations. If this resonated with you, please share it with a friend who might need to hear it. Remember, every creator's path is unique and valuable. Want to tell your streaming story on our show? The application link is in the description. I'm your host, Nerd Titan, and I'll catch you next time as we continue exploring the real stories behind the stream.